Mike Laidlaw, best known as creative director on BioWare's Dragon Age series, has announced he will be departing from Ubisoft. He has been with the company for a little over a year and previously worked on Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Prior to Ubisoft, Laidlaw spent 15 years working at BioWare, working on the Dragon Age franchise as lead designer on Dragon Age 1 and then creative director for the later entries, as well as lead writer for BioWare's Jade Empire. As for what Laidlaw was working up until his announcement is still rather unknown. Only details shared was that it's a new project with Ubisoft Quebec, once described by Laidlaw as exciting enough to make me move halfway across the continent. Laidlaw has yet to share where he'll be going next, but it looks like he'll be taking some time to decide. Developer 1C Entertainment have released their first developer diary revealing more about the upcoming turn-based strategy RPG King's Bounty 2. Set to launch this year, King's Bounty 2 provides a new experience for players, adding core RPG elements and a fully branching narrative to the strategic combat that was well known in the first game. Combat in the sequel will continue to follow the combat of the previous entries, but players will find further enhancements and more modern tactics based on encounters. There are also some new additions not before seen in the series, which include third-person experience when it comes to solving puzzles, exploring, and story. 1C have made exploration very much a part of the game, as is combat. This brings a whole new, more realistic way to interacting with the world around you. King's Bounty 2 also introduces hex-based battles set to play across a three-dimensional battlefield with open world setting, adding a sense of fluidity between combat and exploration, as well as adding further decisions to terrain placement, as this will also play its part. King's Bounty 2 sets to release this year on PC, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. It's been over 3 years since the action RPG Scalebound was cancelled, but Platinum Games would still very much want to be a part of developing it. Recently, Platinum Games announced that they would be developing the wonderful 101 for Switch, PlayStation 4 and PC, due to the success of their Kickstarter campaign. Questions arose if the developer would ever return to working on Scalebound. In an article by Eurogamer, Platinum's Atsushi Inaba responded to a question about if there was a chance the studio would ever return to Scalebound. But Atsushi explained that would be up to the powers that be, Microsoft, as they were the publisher for Scalebound. But even with Scalebound out of the picture, Platinum has quite the workload with Bayonetta 3, Babylon's Fall, and now the wonderful 101. Inaba also shared previously the cancellation of the project wasn't just on Microsoft's shoulders, but also with the studio as well. It looks like if Microsoft ever decides to work on the action RPG again, Platinum will be happy to return to the project, but it doesn't look like any current plans are set in motion. The developer Bandai Namco has shared good news that the action RPG with anime influence, Code Vein, has surpassed 1 million copies sold. In a tweet, they thanked their fans by raising a glass of our finest blood, which was accompanied with an image of Mia Karstein. The vampiric game released last year in September since then has released further customizations, and its first paid DLC, Hellfire Night, just last week. The dark fantasy follows the Great Collapse. Now the world is inhabited, cursed with unique gifts. These vampires certainly possess a fair few talents that can aid them in combat. If you're fighting your way against the lost, be sure to check out some of our guides, as these will come in handy when facing the numerous enemies and challenging boss fights. You can also learn more about blood codes, gifts, and blood veils on our Code Vein wiki. Long-awaited NPCs are finally coming to Fallout 76 with a Wastelander update for Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and PC on April 7th. These will be fully voiced NPCs which were not part of the game when it launched. Wastelanders, which was originally set to launch last autumn, was delayed to 2020 as the developer felt more time was needed for polish. Now they have set a date along with the new additions being hinted at and a brand new main questline. There will also be new locations, new enemies, new weapons, as well as a new reputation system. This is part of the free expansion for all Fallout 76 players. Fallout 76 will also be coming to Steam for the first time. If you're thinking to switch over from Bethesda.net launcher to Steam, Bethesda has shared these details about what is transferable. You won't be able to transfer your Atoms or Fallout First membership, however, items that have been purchased through the Atomic Shop will be shared across platforms. Bethesda also revealed 2 premium content bundles known as Raid Content Bundle and Settler Content Bundle. These will add further cosmetics and a small planter for growing crops when dirt is scarce. These will be available with the new Fallout 76 Wastelanders Deluxe Edition release, which will be available for all platforms on April 7th. Fallout 76 Wastelanders comes to Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and PC on April 4th. Fallout 76 comes to Steam this April. The DLC that will begin the year-long journey of the Dark Heart of Skyrim, Harrowstorm, will release on February 24th for PC and Mac, and March 10th for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. This DLC will contain 2 new dungeons, Icereach and Unhallowed Grave. This also introduces some new performance improvements with Update 25, as well as everyone will need to re-download the game client. This next update is a free base game patch for all ESO players. This one contains performance improvements, new features, fixes, and balance changes. This is the big one, meaning that patching is getting a major overhaul. Update 25 will bring some framerate improvements for all platforms. The new Icereach dungeon will be situated in the northern part of Skyrim. Across the Sea of Ghosts is the island of Icereach, an isolated land that is inhabited by witches of the Icereach Coven. A terrible storm is brewing across the north of Skyrim, taking with it the longships and the lives of the Nords. Icereach is more than just dangerous witches. There are savage cultists, frost beasts, and much more lurks here. Unhallowed Grave dungeon contains the remains of the unholy army called the Grey Host. Once upon a time there was something put here to be protected, but has long been forgotten. The dungeon will also have some grappling, which was introduced with Southern Elsewhere previously. Both of these dungeons and Update 25 will go live this February for PC. A trailer has been released for the strange sci-fi RPG Atomic Heart, mixing Fallout, Bioshock, and the KGB all into one. Atomic Heart is an upcoming action RPG by Mundfish, which follows the alternate events of the universe focusing on the Soviet Union. A new trailer has been released showing some new sights and a robot worm thing that hurtles out of the sky. Things just get weirder in the trailer as we see monitors shaped like human faces, cables protruding from hands, and telekinetic powers are all shown in this 45-second trailer. The game sets to be an open world title in an alternate universe. In this version of history, the USSR have persevered with technology, successfully creating the internet and holograms. Modern times have introduced robots to every aspect of life, but they're a bit out of control. As a KGB agent, you will need to investigate what happened with Plant 3826, why the robots have gone suddenly berserk. While details are still few on the game, hopefully this trailer means we'll be seeing some more gameplay soon. Originally set to launch on March 19th, the RPG version of Fairy Tail will now launch on June 26, 2020. The Japanese version will launch a day earlier on June 25th. Producer Keizuki Kikuchi shared the delay announcement on the official website. Keizuki explains that the delay is to ensure the polish and quality that fans expect. While hearing the delay of a game is disappointing news, it's good to see that developers care about the final product. Fairy Tail RPG will be releasing on June 26th on PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and PC via Steam. In the meantime, you can check out our Fairy Tail interview, producer discusses guilds, post-launch content, characters, and more. Dead Mage and 11-Bit Studios have released the first free content update for the family-oriented roguelite RPG, Children of Morta. The indie title is getting an extensive roadmap for 2020. The Shrine of the Challenge update is now available on PC, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PlayStation 4. While the Bergsons may have fought back the corruption, their adventure is not quite over yet. The update will add hard mode, providing new challenges and great rewards. Expect new fight rules and foes, as well as 18 new items. There is also the addition of a new UI, adding further HUD options, plus balance changes for normal mode and fixes. Children of Morta is also 30% off now on Steam and GOG. If you want to know what we thought of the title, be sure to check out our Children of Morta review, fighting fun for the whole family. Well, that's it for the Week in the Wikis. Please join us again next week for yet another great week of gaming. Remember to check out our VIP program for some exclusive supporter benefits. And budding writers should take advantage of our Become an Author initiative. Thanks again for being part of this great community. Keep checking in with us with news, reviews, YouTube streams and vids, and general wiki goodness.